please. You are okay. Okay. But the fridge is showing. Hello guys, how are you doing? How are you doing? My name is Winfred. Welcome guys to this channel, and I'm hoping that you're all having a pleasant Friday evening. Just as we are setting a few things, I hope you are well. Get everyone on board, let them know we have officially started, or we'll be starting in a few minutes, like about 5 minutes. I'm so glad that you've tuned in. I'm hoping that Friday has not been bad, neither has been the week. Oh my goodness, it has been one fast one, running very, very, very fast. I'm going to hope and pray that power stays on, because normally it has its own tendencies, but we've got a pleasant day, guys. It was nice weather and a nice week all together. I'm just glad we are here. All I'm trying to do is share the link, guys. Go ahead, share the link as well with friends. Let them know we are starting in a bit. I'm just sharing the link, and in 5 minutes we'll be starting. Let me know who is watching, where you're watching from. I'm waiting on people to get on board and we start. We will be starting in a bit, guys. Just one more minute and then we start. And it's clocking there. Tell a friend, guys, and let that friend tell a friend that we have started and it's officially on. How are you guys? Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for dropping by Friday. And I will unveil our topic of discussion for today. And our topic is, why do people feel loneliest on Friday nights? Why do people feel loneliest on Friday nights? That's what we are going to be chatting about. Last Friday, guys, was another one. And I had to do what I felt in my heart to do, and I shared it. I'm glad those of you who tuned in, big numbers on Friday. Last podcast was amazing, and I'm so grateful that you all tuned in. I normally don't do this, but I'll do it again. I just, in addition to what happened last podcast, it was placed on my heart by God to talk about the days that we are living in, that they are the very last days and we need to prepare. So I hope, guys, you're spending your days well, acknowledging the one who is your creator, the reason why you are alive and well. And without wasting any time, I would say good evening, single dad. Hello, Dina Max. Hello. You guys are welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Otherwise, good evening, family. It's Friday night, and I'm your host, Winfred, on our live podcast. Let me ask you a personal question. Why is it that Friday nights, a time everyone is associates with parties, hanging out, laughter, and fun, can also be the loneliest night of the week? Yeah, think about it. Why do people feel loneliest on Friday nights? That is the topic we are going to be talking about. It's a live podcast. Go ahead, drop in the comments what your take is. Why do people feel loneliest on Friday night? Because people really do feel lonely on Friday nights. And Blessing says, hello, Winnie. Hello, Blessing. Thank you so much for tuning in. Blessing. And Cedric says, hello, everyone. Good to be back. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We will start now officially, and I'll read your comments as we get by in the allocated slot. Otherwise, today we are talking about, why do people feel loneliest on Friday nights? Think about it. The world is buzzing, clubs are full, restaurants are busy. That is Friday. Oh my goodness, Friday can really be jam-packed. I've got a friend who has a place, a lounge, and she looks forward to Friday like it's nothing, because that's when she gets all dolled up and people come. You get to meet many people Friday when you go out. So why is it that Friday nights feel the loneliest of all the days of the week? The topic we are handling today, why do people feel loneliest on Friday nights? That is what we are going to talk about. It is a busy day. The world is buzzing. Clubs are full. Restaurants are busy. Social media is alive with people posting pictures of dinners, outings, partying, selfies with friends. Oh my goodness, Friday gets really busy. Couples in love. But there is that other side of Friday. You're sitting at home, scrolling through your phone, wondering why you feel that heaviness inside your chest. And it's all because you feel alone. I mean, you've not been invited out by anyone. And you feel like you are alone. Why does it feel like that Friday, especially Friday nights? I mean, it's okay in the week if no one is calling you to go out, but why is it specifically Friday nights? That is what we are going to be talking about. Why do they feel really, really lonely? Tonight, we are diving into this exact question. Why do people feel loneliest on Friday nights tonight? And I promise you, by the time we are done, you will feel like you understand that you are not alone, and maybe even see loneliness from a whole new perspective. Because what we call lonely is not necessarily lonely, and we all need that me time to reflect, time to unwind. I mean, you've had a busy week, going off to work very early in the morning, but all of a sudden Friday you don't have to wake up, Saturday you don't have to wake up early, and you have no program. Why does it weigh so much on people to find a program for the next day? every Friday night. Yeah. There's a young man called Brian that wrote me and said, all week he's busy, office, he talks to colleagues, answers emails, and sits in meetings from Monday to Friday afternoon. He's surrounded by people, but every Friday when he goes home, oh my goodness, he says Friday nights when he gets home, the silence is so loud, it almost feels like it's screaming. That is what he said, that I go home on Friday and the silence is so loud, it feels like it's screaming to him. And he also said he opens his fridge, finds leftovers, switches on the Netflix, and suddenly feels like the loneliest person in the world. That is Brian. And it really felt sad for him. So he was like, talk about Friday. Why does it really feel lonely? Guys, you let me know. Why does Friday night feel the loneliest day of the week? Let me know in the comments. I will open up the slots later and then we will talk about it. Let me know why Friday feels like that, because many people have actually talked about it and they say they look forward to making programs for spending Friday nights. Others go off to clubs, others want to take out these girls that they want to impress, others are looking for overnights in church. Some are even saying, I will have to go and sleep at my friend's place because it just gets lonely on Friday. Now, here's the irony. Brian isn't truly alone. You need to know this. This is what actually told him that you're not truly alone. He has family, he has friends he could call, but Friday nights have a way of magnifying this solitude, you know. You can call family, you can call friends, but for some reason Friday just creeps up on you and you feel like there's hardly a person that you can depend on. You want them to choose to come to you, not you to be like, can I come over? That feels like you're throwing yourselves on people. Why? Because the world tells us, the reason why he really feels like that is because the world tells us that this is a time, the night you are supposed to be out, living your best life. That is what the world screams. When you see these people on TikTok and they were like partying at this place, going off at this place, you feel like they are living and you're not, and missing out. And when he's not loneliest, when he's not invited out and out partying, he's not when he's not, loneliness hits even harder. When he's not invited, when he's not going out to party with friends, when there's no phone calls of people giving him proggy for Friday night, it really gets lonely. Does Brian's story sound familiar? Because I need to hear from people. Are you all out there like that, where you feel like you're busy the whole week, but then Friday, boom, you feel like, I'm really alone in this house, I've got to go out? Do you all feel that pressure Friday night? Because it's normally there. You watch that movie, you switch on Netflix and watch that movie, and when you're done, you're like, but I was watching and I really ought to be out there. You feel the weight of not having gone, most especially Fridays. I don't know why that is the case, but let me know in the comments whether this is something that a few people feel or it's something everyone does feel once in a while. Yeah. Psychologists say that loneliness isn't always about telling physical. Psychologists normally say that it's not only about physically being alone. Yeah. It's about feeling disconnected. And Friday highlights that disconnection. It just highlights it so much, because imagine the whole week you had meetings like Brian, you had things to go to do and wake up very early, but then there's that slug on Friday where you don't have to wake up early, and those who have to wake up early, it's still not so early as in the week. So it really creeps up on you and makes it seem like you are alone and there's no one who cares. Yeah. And the psychologist said always about being physical alone. It's not only always about feeling physically alone. It's about feeling disconnected. And Friday highlights that disconnection because we expect connection. You expect someone to invite you over to their house for barbecue, or you expect someone to invite you for card games or something, watch some football match with friends, go out dancing, go out to pray, some party of some sort. So they said because mentally we expect to be invited or out there, so it really feels hard to be at home on Friday. Think about it. Monday to Thursday, we excuse ourselves. We are busy, we are tired, we are working. But on Friday night, the world whispers, you should be with someone. That is what the world whispers. And it feels like you are really alone. You should be with someone, you should be somewhere. That is what it screams. I mean, Monday to Friday is normal, but Monday to Thursday is normal, but Friday, there's all these things you're thinking about that maybe you should be out, getting wasted or something. People tend to go that way. But when you don't have any program, it feels like, oh my goodness, I'm alone. No one really cares. But that's a lie. It is a lie. And you get to see that as at the end of the day. This is called the contact effect. That is what the psychologist said. The busier and louder the world around you looks, the lonelier you feel if you are not part of it. That if the world feels busy and you're not busy, then you feel lonely because you're not part of that busy world. And Friday screams that a lot. Social media ads fuel it so much. Oh my goodness. Social media ads can be, you can come and be at this pork joint, you can party this way, you can be drinking here, these new places that have just opened, and you feel like, oh my goodness, I have not been there and I have no one to take there, or no one is going with me there. I am alone. And it's not necessarily that way, guys. So one scroll and suddenly you are comparing. I mean, you scroll on your phone like this. Lately, I've got on TikTok and I've learned the scrolling habit. You scroll and scroll and scroll, and you're just looking for some bit of excitement, someone who is eating nice food or someone who is seemingly happy. And people on social media seem to be really, really happy. And you're wondering why is it everyone is, excited, has got all this money that you don't have, is shopping, is enjoying, and you're not. And I think some of that is a facade. It feels like they are, but they are not, guys. And so don't feel bad when you are not part of that, because not everyone that is smiling is really glad, is really happy. Some of them are just putting up appearances in crowds, but lonely. And that gap between where you are and where you think you should be creates the sharp sting of loneliness. If you scroll through and see these people are happy, you're not, they are enjoying, you're not, you start feeling really lonely. I have got a very good, close person in my life who always tells me, oh my goodness, I'm alone. It's just me and my kid at home. I'm alone. I feel lonely. And when I'm lonely, that's when I get my drink and I just drink, slowly to pass time. But Fridays hit hard that way. I think because there is no program after that, you don't have any reason to wake up so early. So you want to have a good reason to stay awake because you're not waking up early. It's just mental, guys. And it passes, if I may put it. And there's a woman called Grace. I'll share her story. She told me share my story as well, because I go around asking people, what is your take about Friday? What is it that you think? And Grace said, she doesn't mind me using her name, and she said she goes out every Friday with friends and dresses up. She laughs, she posts pictures, she even dances, but deep down she feels invisible. Not, yeah? She says she dresses up, she laughs, posts pictures, she even dances, but deep down she feels invisible. She can be in a crowd of 20, but still feel like no one sees her. That is what Grace said. That's another truth about Friday night loneliness. It's not just about being alone in a room. It's also being out there, but you really maybe didn't want to go out. You wanted to be indoors, but because if you had chosen to be indoors, you'd be alone. You end up going places where you feel like you are really not there, but no one is seeing you, but you're there simply because you're responding to the call of Friday night. And she says that it's not just about being alone in a room. You can be at a party with music blasting and still feel utterly empty inside, because loneliness isn't the absence of people. You need to know that as well, guys. Loneliness isn't the absence of people. It's the absence of connection. We are all created to want to connect with people. And so when you have no one you're connected to, say like you have no wife to go to or girlfriend to go to. I know my people who are in diaspora or who are in the UAE, like Rogers and many others. It really gets to be lonely. People think that when you're abroad, when you are away working, you are really, you've made it. But it's so lonely there because there's no family, no friends. It gets really lonely. But Fridays, when you don't have to work, is when you really feel it hard because it gets lonely. And it is also because of that psychology. You get to see, imagine you're away, you're working in Dubai, you're working in the UAE, and you just watch these things on TikTok where Ugandans are busy going out eating pork or drinking or visiting or, doing fun things. And you're just there in your room alone. It really can be. And it's not like you're hoping next Friday will be getting any better. It's just there. You don't know who will be there the next day. You know it's the same old story. It really does weigh heavy on you. And it also, like I said, that loneliness is not the absence of people. It is the absence of connection. Have you ever been in a room full of people? You felt like nobody really knew you. And there are so many people around you, but no one knows you for sure. Because these are people you just go out when you have money. I have a friend, another person that I would give an example of. He said that when he gets money, he takes people out and they just drink and enjoy eating out. But guess what? He knows very well that if he didn't have that money, those friends wouldn't be there. So they look him up every Friday because they know he will have money on the weekend and he will be able to take them out. But when he doesn't have any money and they call and ask, man, is there any program for today? Everyone would be like, if he says no, they would be like, I don't have any money. They would be like, oh, okay. Well, I'll also stay home and chill. They never suggest to pinch in and take him out. So it goes to show you guys that some of these friends that we make because we want to cover Friday nights are based on what you can give them. And we need also to be able to tell the difference, because they could be surrounding you, but no one really knows you. No one connects with you. No one gets that, you know what? He doesn't have much. He just wants to spend time with us. No one really wants to go deeper into knowing you that way. And it gets lonely that way because you can see them smiling because they are enjoying your money. But when you don't have it, you don't even have anyone who can borrow you a coin. Isn't that sad? And Friday does that because you look forward to having all these people around you and them praising you and you laughing. And because you're laughing, they are laughing because you're the one feeding the bill or taking the bill. So you can really be lonely even when you're surrounded by many people. That is Grace's night, basically. She says she goes out, dances, takes pictures, posts, but still feels lonely. And honestly, it's many people's Friday night. That is what I would say, because I went out asking and they're like, oh, me too. I really feel lonely on Friday. I don't know why. So I thought I would bring it as a topic. Let me know, guys, what you think and why you think Friday nights get so lonely. Let me read some of the comments if there are any that have dropped in. Oh, blessing Nava. Says hello, and then Okumu Michael Garrido. Hello, I watch you live from Kenya. Hello, Okum. Thank you so much for watching. And Cedric says hello, Michael from Kenya. Cedric says hello, blessings and Dina. Hello, single dad. Guys, I need to know, do you also feel the same way about Friday? Does it get lonely? It's a live podcast. Go ahead and post. Let me know whether it's just a few people here that feel it or it's everyone, because it could be a thing for some people, but not everyone. But that pressure to even take people out, that pressure to go out is normally so loud on Friday nights as opposed to the middle of the week. I mean, if you have to wake up Monday, no one is looking to go out with friends. No one even feels lonely on Monday. Why? Because you get home tired, want to prepare so that you get ready for tomorrow, then go Tuesday, the same, Wednesday, Thursday. It's only on Friday because there is no program for the next day. So I need to know, guys, let me know in the comments what you think and whether that has happened to you and it felt lonely on Friday. Because the take is, why does it feel loneliest on Friday nights? Why Friday nights hit harder? Friday nights are so powerful when it comes to loneliness, and we are going to unveil why that is so. Because society's expectations. Society can expect Friday is marked as a day of freedom, fun, and connection. That is what society has pinned as Friday. And so when you don't have any fun programmed, any expression of freedom or connection, you don't have anyone to go out on a date with, you feel the weight, you feel the pressure, especially people at university. Oh my goodness, they feel the pressure to go out and party or go out and be with people, simply because society expects you to be out, not in your room by yourself. If I'm wrong, guys, let me know. Your reality doesn't match that. If your reality doesn't match that expectation from society, then it hits you hard. Because in reality, you're in the room, no one is there, it's just you, probably you're wearing your robes, you're just eating on something as you're watching a movie that probably is boring or you've watched 10 times. So it is society that has contributed much to that Friday night loneliness because of its expectations. Then the end of the week reflection also has contributed to people feeling really lonely on Friday nights. Let me know if it's different for you, and let me know what you also expect Friday nights to be. Is it one of those loneliest days, or is it another day of the week? That my take is Friday nights, and my research has proved it's Friday nights. But if you have a different day, guys, go on and let me know in the comments what day you think that is and how it does feel. Then I said the end of the week reflection. By Friday, you've had 5 days of busyness. When it stops, silence enters, and silence makes loneliness louder. Because you've had those 5 days, we were busy, the 4 days, and then this one day, the busyness stops, and then it is silent all of a sudden. So it makes the loneliness more loud, and people feel like, oh my goodness, I should be out there. Imagine the whole week. Say like you're working in the market and you work, but again, people in the market never get lonely because they don't party Friday, because they know they have to go out and work Saturday. But imagine you've been in the office Monday to Friday, and Saturday you can come in maybe at 10 or 8 or 9. You don't even sometimes have to come in Saturday. So it does push you into wanting to have a program for the next day. and so you sleep in late because you know there's not much to do on Saturday. Saturday is for unwinding. Yeah. Also, the comparison culture has also contributed to that Friday night loneliness. Yeah. Social media highlights upon Friday. Sorry, social media are up on Fridays. Oh my goodness. People post their nights out and you can't help but wonder, what's wrong with me? How come I'm not going out? That is why even some people break up with the quote unquote boyfriends, because you're wondering, on Friday he didn't take you out, even the other Friday, and this one's boyfriend is taking them out, or this one's husband, or this one's wife, or this one's, somebody's taking them out, and no one is saying anything to you. So Friday nights really can feel lonely because of the comparison culture and the human need for belonging. There is that need to belong somewhere where we are wired for connection. Friday reminds us of what we are missing. I mean, that's why the Bible even says that no man should be alone. Man shouldn't be alone. And because man shouldn't be alone, guess what? We are not wired to be alone, but for connection. So Friday reminds us of what we are missing. So it's not just about the day, it's about what that day symbolizes. It symbolizes unwinding, connecting, hanging out, having fun. And so when you're not having those, it really feels like you are alone. Let me turn to you, my listeners. Yeah. I want you to think back. What's the loneliest Friday night you've ever had? Was it when you stayed home? Was it when you were with people? I need to hear from you, and I'm waiting to see. Let me read some of the comments. TJ says, hello, everyone. I look forward to your live every Friday night. Thank you, TJ. Thank you so much for always watching. And I hope that is not your one way of killing loneliness. I hope after you've got other, because I'm glad that you choose my Friday nights. They can really, really be lonely, but I'm glad that they fill up your void and you look forward to them. Otherwise, guys, let me know. It's a live podcast. Who it is that is watching, where you're watching from, and if I want to hear your loneliest Friday. Why was it your loneliest? And where were you? And who were you with? Oh, let me know. Was it when you were with people who didn't really see you? I need to hear. Guys, share. It's a live podcast. Yeah. Or maybe was it when you had just gone through a breakup on Friday and Friday night feel like a spotlight on your plan? Just let me know. I need to hear from Blessing. Blessing Nava. Have you ever had a lonely Friday night? Or does it feel like Friday nights are lonely for you? I need to hear from Single Dad. Cedric and TJ has said she looks forward to my Friday nights. That is good. Dina, Rogers. I don't know where Rogers went off to, but guys, let me know what your Fridays feel like. And Jasper says hello. Oh my goodness, Jasper, how are you, my dear? Let me know whether your Friday nights feel lonely as well. And or maybe was it when you had just gone through a breakup and Friday night feel like a spotlight on your on your plan? Let me know if that is what happened, because really Fridays can feel lonely. Drop your answer in the live chat, share your stories, because one thing I know for sure is loneliness is got its own power. It can really make you feel like you're out of your mind. There is nothing you can do about it. Loneliness loses some of its power when we talk about it. And tonight we are breaking its silence. So that is why I said, guys, let me know in the comments. Like I said, loneliness loses its power when you talk about it. Like you go ahead, like TJ has said that she looks forward to my lives every Friday. That is her cup of tea for Friday night. Let me know, guys. It loses its power on you if you talk about it. That, you know what, I feel lonely because of this, or this is when I feel the happiest. Let me know about your take. It's a live podcast, and I'm waiting to hear. Today we are out to break the silence of loneliness, because it also has to stop. It is one of those things that many people don't know how to deal with. There are people who plan to go out in places and pray. It is because you book that day off. Instead of being home and being alone, you go up and hang out at church. There are so many places, especially if you're a Christian and you're looking for a Christian way to have fun and spend your day. You can have activities at church that involve like overnights. Overnights are good, and you leave the place transformed and feeling renewed. You can also choose to go and pay a visit to relatives, siblings, if you have any, parents. I mean, parents always look forward to having kids over, but kids can look for fun everywhere else but with their parents. How I wish mine was still here. I would have loved to go and be with my mom and we just catch up on things. That would be really nice. But there are different ways we can have fun. Guys, let me know in the comment section. Why does Friday feel the loneliest among all days? Why is it loneliest on Friday nights? Let me know. That is the topic that came through, and I need to know, why is it the loneliest? Or if I'm wrong, go ahead and let me know still that no, Friday isn't the loneliest. It's actually the the most exciting day. It is exciting, yes, because you know you don't have to wake up early. But doesn't it feel lonely when you are alone on Friday? Let me know in the comment section what your take is, because I think it is one of those loneliest days. And let me also share something. I'm actually surprised we are having this live podcast, because the Jewish people had just had their Day of Trumpets. A lot was going on in the minds of people, and they were saying, we won't be here Friday. Friday, the rapture would have happened, the people would have gone. It was a lot of things. But guys, let me tell you something. Friday is one of those days that if you're not prepared for, you are ready for anything. I, for one, had the rapture happened, I was ready. I was like, God, I will go. Because I had had the dream. And in the dream, I was told to prepare, for it is time to take the church. Now, if that was my dream, there was no time mentioned that on this day or at this time. But that is what weighed heavily on my heart. And the whole week, I had planned to have another topic we talk about on Friday, but I couldn't even do it because I felt the Holy Spirit put tag on me not to, but to go and tell people. So guys, here I am telling you, if you don't have a place to go to and you don't want to, and this podcast is done, don't go out there and do things that you live to regret. I know life is for the living. And people say forever young, and people say it is good to go out and enjoy while you can. Well, the Bible still says that young people enjoy your youth, but it also adds something to it, that you give accountability of whatever it is that you do. I know there's that pressure to be like everyone else, the pressure to get and post things, your life out there. And if you're not posting, it feels like, what kind of life are you having? You must be doing really bad that you don't have anything to post. So we feel pressured, and you find yourself hanging out with people you wouldn't ideally hang out with, just because the pictures will look good, or just because you want something to post on your account as well, so that people find your account exciting. We need to think about that as well. It gets lonely. But guess what, guys? Let us not be forced into doing things that we will regret. I'll read Cedric's comment. Cedric says, when you didn't get weekend money, it can't be one of those nights when it can be one of those nights when you just want to go to bed. Oh, I know. And these weekends or nights out seem like they are more enjoyable when you have money. But you can have fun at home even without going out. But people don't know how to do that. You can choose to have Friday nights as a day of games. Have a few friends over and just play games. If you're living alone, have a few workmates over, play some games, and then let them leave a bit late. That would help. You don't have to spend any money on that one. If your friends especially stay in the neighborhood, you just go over, play some card games. That is one righteous way of spending your Friday night. And you don't have the walls screaming to you that you're not leaving. Social media can really blow up things and make you feel alone and feel really sad and abandoned. But we shouldn't give in to the pressures of the world and the pressures of social media, because social media is there. And it's like, before that, what were people doing? Before social media, what were people doing? Because right now it's like every nitty gritty that happens to them is out there, is posted for someone to see. And when you see, you're like, oh my goodness, did you see they were in Dubai? Did you see they had gone to the falls? They went to these places, bungee jumping, and I'm right here. We shouldn't be pressured into. There are nice ways of spending Friday night, minus spending a dime. Probably what you would spend, it would incur as a cost would be buying some popcorn. If you're not into popcorn, maybe buying or baking a few cupcakes or something small. It doesn't have to be expensive for you to kill the boredom and loneliness of Friday night. And the other thing is, we are the ones who have monetized Friday nights, because you could really just go and catch up with friends. You go off to your neighbors and just talk, just watch a movie together. If you're staying alone. And if you have kids and you're not going out, you could also choose to make it a movie night where you just sit and watch a movie, just you and your partner, or you and your husband, or you and your children, and you spend no money doing that. Because at the end of the day, if we monetize the Friday nights, that's why they become really something that is blown out of proportion, and it becomes unaffordable. And yet it's just a day of the week, and it happens every week. You can choose to play games, board games, card games. You can choose to play video games with friends. So there are cheaper ways of spending Friday nights. But it gets lonely if even on those special, small things you're not invited. I guess if you're not invited, you should also learn to invite people over. That is also one way of killing loneliness Friday night. Because instead of you sitting at home and waiting on your neighbor to call you or your colleague, you invite them. You just buy a couple of cards and then just have, some card games, especially those that are living abroad or where we call the diaspora. It gets really lonely. It does get lonely. And you find someone is watching one live to another, tossed from one to another, and simply because they want to pass the day, they want to pass the night, and they have no program for Saturday because they're not working on Saturday. So if that is you watching, I pray that you find something that will get you busy or excited, or you keep it right here on this podcast every Friday night. Unless power goes off, we would be here. And you can tell me about your week. You can tell me about your weekend. This is just a channel, a podcast that is dedicated to life. I mean, we can talk about anything. We talk about the Bible, we talk about life, investments, finances, relationships, and everything in between there that you could think of, we can talk about. So this is basically meant, this day, Friday, is dedicated to anyone who is at home and feels alone and wants to unwind. It is the right place to be. And let me know who it is that is watching, where you're watching from, and how Fridays go for you. Cedric has already mentioned that if you don't have some weekend money, on the side, you just feel like you want to go to bed. That is what he said. There was a man who used to sit by himself every Friday night in a little cafe. He would come and sit there. But before I get into that one, let me read Dina's thing. Dina says Friday night time is quieter time when distractions from the day fade away, leaving you with overwhelming thoughts. Yeah, Friday does that. I wonder why. It gets quiet and you start thinking, imagining, wishing you had been invited somewhere, wishing you had someone over. Yeah, Friday tends to do that. But why does it do it, Dina? Why do you think Friday does that? People feel lonely. And that's when people actually make programs to go and see boyfriends, go and see girlfriends, go out, plans to go and visit relatives, because Friday seems to be a bit laid back. Friday night, it feels laid back, and so you want to go somewhere and be with people. Like I said, we are looking for connection, and Friday is one of those. You want to connect. Guys, if you're like Dina or like many of us and feel Friday leaves that hole in you, drop in the comments, we'll read it. Dina says Friday night is a day for social connection. Yeah, it is for social connection. Just like me seated here, I'm looking to hear from you guys. I'm looking to see someone take me out. Because Friday tends to make you feel like that. And because like I know some lady, she has her busy week, and then on weekends, Friday she spends it in bed because she's tired, because she's had the whole week busy. But then Sunday is family time. Then Saturday is shopping and refilling and cleaning, cooking. Saturday. So her days are all spelled out. I don't know what she does Friday, but she says she's busy Friday, Monday to Friday. So Friday night is unwinding, sleeping, letting her hair down and just chilling. But Saturday is shopping, cleaning, and cooking. And then she says Sunday is, family time. That's when she spends time with her children, her husband. So people spend days differently and find their days different depending on what the week is. So let me know what your day is, guys, that feels the loneliest. Which day that is and why, if that does apply to you. Otherwise, as your comments are coming in, I will continue and tell you a story. There was a man who used to sit by himself every Friday night in a little cafe. People thought he was lonely, but he said something powerful. I was surprised. I mean, he would come and sit in the corner and just be there by himself every Friday night. And he said, one time someone asked, "Are you lonely?" And he said, "I'm not lonely. I'm learning to enjoy my own company. I'm just learning to love myself, to be in tune with myself." And trust me, he said that it made sense to me. He is learning to enjoy his own company because he had realized these friends that hang around him many times are quote unquote conditional. If he doesn't have money and he's not the one paying, they don't want to hang out with him. If he's not called to invite them over, no one comes. If he has not made a phone call to them through the week, no one will call. So he said, I just learned to love my own company. Friday nights, I go to a cafe where everything there is okay, as in there is no intoxication, no drunkards, no rowdiness. I just sit and enjoy my coffee and my own company. That to me was something. I had never seen anyone say that or do that, but he was learning to enjoy his own company. Another gentleman that I know, he says that he's been alone for for a year now, and is learning to love himself and learning to do without people. He says before he never thought he would be anywhere without crowds of people around him. And each time you'd go to his house, you'd find he's got a full house of these friends who come and sleep in the couches, who come and just be on the floor, eat his food, and just be there up to no good. But lately he's saying, I think it's called growing up. I'm learning to be by myself and be okay with it. Guys, if you're out there and also you're like that gentleman who said, I'm learning to enjoy my company, let me know if Friday feels like a time to enjoy your own company and space. That is what he said, and I found it really wise that he had gotten to learn how to spend time by himself, and now he's okay. And he said the danger of that is, now that I've mastered the art of being alone, I don't think I need to be in crowds of people. I feel okay. And it actually feels unsafe when I'm surrounded by all these people, because I don't know what they're up to, what their thoughts are about me, what they are planning to do to me. And all, plus also the bill that comes when they are all around me in my house. So he's a different person altogether. Now I need to know, it's a live podcast. Has anyone else made some resolutions out of Friday nights being the loneliest days when you have no company, no one around but yourself? Let me know in the comment section what you think. I think that gentleman who said he's learning to enjoy his own company, I think that right there is the shift. Yeah. Yes, Friday nights can be lonely, but they can also be sacred, a time to reflect. You've had a busy week, you've been running up and about, but now you sit back, like Dina said, and just think of life, of the people that you thought were great, of your plans ahead, of life in general. There are times I've started doing that a lot. I sit and I'm like, is life all about waking up, eating, drinking, going and picking kids or shopping or going to work and coming home and then eating again, having a shower, and then going off to bed again? Is it just all there is about life? Because you reflect when times that you have when you're by yourself, which Friday nights normally do, pull out. You start thinking and reflecting. So I think it's a good sacred time because you reflect. You reflect on yourself, about the kind of friends that you've got, the company that you've been keeping, where you're working, people you are with all the time. Are they the best company? Would they stick around if things were to change a little bit? Are they honest? Have you used up your time well that you've had with these people? Dina says, think it's a black day of Satan. She thinks it's a black day of Satan. I don't know why, Dina, you'd call it that. Maybe you'd explain more about why you call it the black day of Satan, that Friday is a black day of Satan. Ideally, we are giving too much credit, I would think, to Satan. It's not his day, it is God's day, but probably we just choose to do evil things, but it's not a black day of Satan. Dina says, I personally fear to be alone the whole weekend. Why is that, Dina? You don't enjoy your own company? If you don't, let us know, because we could arrange, and some of these people watching could come and pay you a visit or take you out. Who knows? Probably there's a gentleman out there watching that is in the same condition and would want to spend some time on the weekend with someone also who is in the same position. So Dina, let me know. Otherwise, guys, it's a live podcast. Go ahead and drop in the comment section why, if you've ever had Friday feel lonely, or if it does really feel lonely right now for you, and why, and where are you, and who are you with. Like I gave examples, you can be in a crowd of people but still feel lonely. It does really happen because you're among people that know nothing about you. They don't care. And remember, guys, Fridays is not only a day, but it's a day of connection. It's not only about being with people. You can live in a house with many people, but you still feel lonely. Why? Because these people don't know you, you don't really know them, but you're with them. I mean, people go clubbing and they dance with total strangers. They hook up with total strangers. I don't know whether it's because there is a void in them and they want to fill it up. And so they fill it up the wrong way by having all these people around them. I'm still waiting on Dina's answer where she said that Friday is a black day of Satan. Why would you say that, Dina, about Friday? Is it because it's so lonely? For one, I don't think we should give that much credit to Satan, because all days of the week are the Lord's, and we choose to either spend them in the satanic way or the evil way, or we do spend them the righteous way with friends, with family. So let me know why you would say that. Otherwise, you said you fear to be alone the whole weekend. Well, I, for one, am different. I don't fear being alone. I actually find that being alone gives me time to think about my choices, reflect on life, and plan. Anytime I'm alone, that's what goes on. I'm praying, I'm talking to God. Learn, maybe, Dina, also to talk to God, because He's always listening. Do you know that He's a silent listener to every conversation? Because God does listen to everything that goes on. He does not only tune in when we call on Him in prayer. He listens when I'm trying to steal from you, when I'm planning to get you into trouble. He's listening. Growing up, we had that saying that's in that picture we had pinned up, that saying He's the silent listener to every conversation and the uninvited guest to every meal. He's always right there. But we don't know it. We think, it is just me and my meal. Me, I'm just talking my foolish thing. He's right there listening. So if we can learn as well to go before Him in those silent times. It is Friday, you are alone, there's no one to keep you company. Instead of landing yourself in big trouble, I think also spending time alone, playing some nice music, quiet, slow music, and you just listen and pray. The kind of music we listen to also determines our mood. If you're going to listen to rowdy music, it will make you feel more lonely. But if you're going to listen to slow worship music, I don't know, some of you, if you know what I'm talking about, but that kind of music can get you to sleep. It can get you to pray. It can get you to reflect on the choices that you have made. Normally that happens when you are alone. But when you are with so many people, you don't even have time to think. There's a friend of mine who told me that he would party for a whole year. That was his past life. He would party. There are times he would get so wasted. He sleeps and wakes up when it is Tuesday. Imagine you drunk on Friday or Saturday and you don't wake up Sunday, Monday, and you just wake up midway Tuesday. That is scary. And he said that we would party and party. And by the time the year ends, you've achieved nothing all year through because all you did was party. And these friends don't allow you to be sober. Just as you're trying to sober out, they buy more, you drink more, sleep around more, and just get more and more wasted. And he said that is how he wasted his quite number of years. Now, there are many people who are looking at doing that and do that actually, but it leaves you empty. Have you seen people who are old and still living on these small quarters? They wasted their years of youth living, quote unquote, I'm doing my life the way I want, I'm living my life. You can really live your life and live it all out, that there's nothing left for your old age. I mean, you find people who are, how can I call it? Like if you're above 50 and you're still living on a one-roomed place, renting, guys, you just know things have turned up on you. Why? Because while you had your years of youth, where you would have worked, where you would have saved, where you would have planned and dreamt, and you were busy wasting those years away. And time wasted, guys, is never returned. If you waste your time drinking, if you waste your time in going out and partying in crowds, you can never ever recover that time. And it can always be seen when you are an old man, old woman, but not settled anywhere. And you're living a life that you want to hide simply because you did not do the right thing at the right time. So may God help us not waste away our lives. Fridays are a good time to reflect and a good time to think about our choices and options. Dina says, I think being lonely can be an opportunity for personal reflection. Yes, it can be a good time for personal reflection. It is a good time because when you are alone, I remember the times when my kids would be off to school. I would be in the house cleaning, but while I'm cleaning, I'm also thinking what we'll have for lunch, what we had the other day, what the other one said the other time, who wanted what for his birthday, or where I would want to go as well and spend some time. It's just a good time. If you find yourself on a Friday like today and you're alone after the podcast, don't go out and look for trouble. Stay home. Allow the quietness to kick in and start thinking and planning. While you are alone, you can start even dreaming of the future. I'm not saying go ahead and just sleep, endless sleep. No, go ahead and have some time to yourself. Because when we are awake, we plan. When we are in the quiet, you start dreaming. You start seeing your life. Where would you want to be next year? What would you want to achieve next year? And so you start working towards it. It may seem like it's impossible to achieve, but guess what? Once you have started on it, God would ensure that you achieve it, because He would want us to, advance in life, to plan and utilize the time that He has given us, not to waste it away. And Cedric says, I think being lonely can be an opportunity for personal reflection. Yes, my dear. And Dina says, even they named a Black Friday in camp. So I asked you again, Dina, why do you think it is Satan's day? Black Saturn's Day. Why? They call it Black Friday. But if you get to see the history of Black Friday, it is not necessarily black because the day is black and the people are satanic. It is because that is the day they would sell the blacks as slaves. Not necessarily because it's the day of Satan. It's because that's the day they would go out as merchants and then buy blacks as slaves. And Black Friday is just a day to release the blacks, their freedom and all that. It's too much detailed for you to think it's because of Satan's day. No, it's not. It's not, Dina. And I would like also to read a comment from Dina again. She says, like my neighbors, they party from Friday and their music is loud, so that scares me off every Friday. Yeah. There are some people who really want to do that and nag people and drive them crazy. Make it seem like if you've not joined our party, you are not leaving, you are missing. I think it's also the devil's way of getting us to the other side, because some people would really do anything to have a life that they see on social media, that they hear is exciting. You can see people dancing. There's a lady who told me in the club where she was working, there are some rich men who would come in there every day, going to different places just to drink. They spend their time and their nights in bars, just drinking late as it's getting to morning. Then they go off with these strange ladies, or they sleep in the bar and in the morning someone takes them home every day. But you can think those people are happy because while they are starting to drink, they are taking pictures while the tables are all messed up with empty bottles and full buckets of alcohol. That doesn't mean they are having a blast. They are trying to drown their sorrows. So don't get it twisted into thinking because they are messing up their tables, they are happiest, or they are the ones who are not lonely. Loneliness can even find you at that table with your alcohol. That is why when people are drunk, they say all kinds of things, and normally that is their truth. But when you're listening in, you're like, my goodness, I think they are not as happy as I thought they were. So think about it and also reflect. I would think also Friday night is a time to rest. I would think it's a time to pour into yourself. You rest. Remember, you've been waking up every day, but now, if you choose to go to bed and sleep early, that is good. It's a time for you to rest, as opposed to going out there and again getting more and more tired. So it's okay if you stay home. It's okay if you choose to be alone. It is a time to rest and pour into yourself. Like that man who said self-love. I'm learning to enjoy my own company. We can also learn to spend Fridays, even when you don't have money. You don't have to borrow a weekend money like Cedric said, and just go out and waste all of it. You can save some of it so that it can help you for a later day. Because trust me, those other days would come when you don't have and you need that money. Instead of you blowing it all in one night, you can save some and use it later. Now, if you're listening to me right now and you're feeling that ache, that loneliness, yeah, remember you are not invisible, you are not forgotten, and you are not alone. There are people also out there going through the same. You just have to pick yourself up and know that in the right time, things would get better. I've listened to several people who have said they made life changes just by the time they spent alone. I mean, they say my wife had left me, or my girlfriend had left, or my husband had left me. Like, there's this lady that I know personally. She was married off to this gentleman who never really truly loved her. But growing up in church, guys, there are some rules unspoken of, like you don't get pregnant without being married. I don't know about you guys and where you come from, but in my church where I came from, that was the case. You don't get pregnant when you're not married. So she got pregnant with this guy, and because the guy was worried he would be removed from his office, he married her. Not because he loved her, but because he was taking up the responsibility as the one who made her pregnant. So he married her in 2 months, and after about a few months of marriage, like about 7 months, she gave birth, and everyone was like, but they've just gotten married. Isn't that pregnancy supposed to be like about 7 months? How come she's giving birth? Things were not adding up. But because they were hiding the fact that they had been together before marriage, they got married. Now, they had the firstborn, secondborn, thirdborn, and fourthborn. But I'm wondering, in between there, if the man was to love, he would really have started loving this lady, but he did not. His thing was, I never loved you, I will never love you, but they had 4 kids. Now, after some time, the man got interested in the maid. The woman would pretend she's sick to see that she gets some affection from the man. The man would say, whoever is sick would not eat food. So don't, and caution the maid not to serve her food because she's sick. Sick people don't eat. And so she said, I would pretend to be sick so that I would get some affection from this gentleman. I would pretend to be sick so that at least he would show some care. But instead, he would tell the maid, sick people don't eat, don't serve her. And so she would miss out on a meal. Now, this went on for some years until the gentleman had kids with the maid. I think he really wanted her out of his life, but was not speaking outright that leave my house. So this lady got really tired of it, got her 4 kids and left. Now, you could think when I'm telling you this story that that was an easy thing for her to do, but it wasn't. Like all of us know, that can't be an easy thing to do. Walking out of a relationship of many years, not just any relationship, a marriage, and going off with your kids. But she did. And she was a hardworking woman. She used to sell second-hand clothes in Owino market. Those of you who know Uganda, in Owino. And so when she got married to this guy, she stopped selling and stayed home to make home with this man. Now, after they split, remember she had the traits of a hardworking woman. So she got back on her feet, had someone give her 2 hens and 1 cock. And she got somewhere to rent and started taking care of them. Oh my goodness, God was with her and blessed those chickens. And they multiplied and multiplied. And she started she started selling eggs in the neighborhood where she was renting. Actually, she wasn't renting. She was living in a house that was incomplete for some person in church. They said, if you can live here, you can live here for free. So she stayed there and started rearing chickens. She started off with 2 chickens and 1 cock. And they multiplied and multiplied until she had a farm of them. Then she started selling them and buying pigs and took care of those pigs as well. They multiplied. She started selling to the butchers pigs. And then before you know it, she was known. Then she got a cow. It started giving her milk. So she was known in the place as a person who sells milk, eggs, and pork. Oh my goodness, she's an enterprising woman. Now, she got her car because then she needed to supply all these other people the products from the produce from her farm. It wasn't a big farm, but because that land where she was staying and taking care of had space, she started, getting more and more things, then the cow, and then was able to buy her own piece of land. And the moment she bought her own piece of land, she left that place and went to her land, fenced it off. It wasn't big, but she kept on adding to it. And she didn't care whether she was living next to town or far away from town. I got to see her after many years. My goodness, she was driving. Yeah, but when you talk to her, her thing is, I suffered at the hand of that man. I didn't have anywhere to go. It felt so lonely. There are nights I would cry and cry, and no one was there to comfort me. That's what she said. Now, she did this for some time, and it wasn't easy. Like, if I tell you now, you'd think, oh, well, I think she had somewhere to start off from. No, she didn't. And it wasn't easy, but she managed. Now, it goes to show you that in the times when we are alone, imagine you're living in the diaspora, or you are living abroad, working, no friends, no company, nothing, no family. And all you're doing is saving your money every single day, saving. Guess what? If you have and make wise decisions, that time you are alone even helps you reflect. You start thinking about the people at home. What is it that is moving you into sending that money to them? You start reflecting, and before you know it, a person who would ideally be just called, they call you and they say, you know what, we need this, we need material for this. You'll be like, for what now? Because now you're starting to think. You're not just this ATM that gives out money, but you reflect and start thinking. And before you know it, when you come back, you have made great decisions. I also know someone who, after the man had left her, worked. I like these ladies who don't really just sit back and sulk because life happened the negative way, but get up on their feet and are like, I will do something with my life. This lady that before I even tell you another story, this lady that I'm telling you about, after some years, the husband meets her again, because word went round that your wife or your ex is now a landlord and owns a farm and is driving. So the man looks her up and thinks they can rekindle things, because she was the one who loved him. He never loved her. And so he thought by the way he left things, he could always come back, or the woman put him in his place. And the man is still renting, and he ended up sending away the maid to whom he had kids with while the wife was still around. So you can see life can really turn around when you are by yourself. We just have to learn how to take advantage of that lone time that we have. When you are alone, you just take time to reflect and plan ahead. Another one is this lady that had been abandoned by the man, and she went on and the man would look at every other woman except her. They started business. They were in the jewelry business. And the man would trust one of the workers more than he would trust her. They had a car, but in that car, he would allow the girl that works for him to get a ride in the car, but not her. And each time the wife would get in, it would be like, you'd get us late, you're never serious, you stay home. So the wife got her own saved money, opened up a small section. You know, in Uganda, we have shops and you can sublet, whereby I can use one corner and someone else is using the other corner. As at times we're even doing the same product, or sometimes it's different. So she got a shop where there were other people in there, and she rented just one corner and was dealing in jewelry, because that's what the husband was getting from China. So I don't know whether she was getting the jewelry how, but she managed to get her own jewelry just to show the man that you don't work with me, yet I live with you. You don't trust me with money, but yet I live with you. And The saddest thing was this gentleman would drive to work and leave her at home, saying that she's too slow, that she has bad luck and would bring the business down. And one day she made her shop, and her shop gave some good returns, and she raised, her target was to get just enough money to go to Dubai and start working, because there are so many agencies in Uganda that are taking people abroad to work. And so she saved her money, got enough money to register with some agency, and went off to Dubai. She was there for 3 years, working and saving her money. But in those 3 years, the man's business fell. He couldn't keep the shop up anymore. And guess what? The lady was in Dubai saving her money. So this is to encourage those of you who are losing hope. But when you ask her how she got to that, she was like, at my lowest, when I was feeling really lonely, this man had discarded me, treated me like I'm nothing, kept on rubbing in my face how I have bad luck, I cannot make money. And guess what? That is when she thought of what to do and how to get out of that situation and make her situation better. So we can really use that time, that long time, instead of choosing to just go and drink. We can choose, to stay home by yourself, enjoy your own company, and time to reflect. Because these two ladies, for me, are an inspiration. She went off to Dubai, worked there for 3 years, and was saving her money. When she got back, the man was like, I've now reflected. You are my suiting wife. You should now come back to our home. She was like, I'm not coming back. And the man said, well, I'll do whatever it takes to have you back. Because after you left, everything fell apart. My business fell apart. But remember, how can you live in the same house and have two different businesses dealing in the same items? That was already the devil coming between them. But what helped this lady was that time when the husband pushed her away. She got thinking, what can I do with my life? And like thoughts are never wrong, she came up with that idea, let me do business the same as he's doing and show him I can. And once I've raised enough money, then I will go off to Dubai, be able to earn much more, and then come back and do something serious with myself. And that's what she did. Well, to make the story short, her life really looked good. And they are back together. The man was like, you really should come back. I think we are not meant for business. We should stick to church business. And they stayed with the church. And they are now together. I don't know what else is going on with them, but I think life is better now for them. I want to read a comment that has just come in. Dina says, it was Friday that Jesus was crucified, and they called it Good Friday. So you never know what can happen on Friday. Now I like your vibe, Dina. Before, when you said it's Satan's day, I was like, please, how does it become? Satan has claimed many things, but that can't be his, because God created it as one of his good days. And it's called Good Friday for a reason. So it's a good day. It is supposed to be a nice day. It is just for us to reflect. It's a sacred day for us to think about our life choices, get to love ourselves more, but we turn it around and just be like, we need to be with crowds. We need to be in public. We need to go out. If we can stay in one place and reflect, in the stillness, guys, in the quietness, there God is. And these divine ideas that have never crossed you will cross you that day. You just try it. You are alone. I like the times when I'm at home and I just get into myself. I start thinking. You can even start wondering, why do I have these lights? When was the last time I cleaned them? Small things, simply because you have time to yourself. You are in a quiet place. Dina has written something again, and she says, people turn it into be a Saturn's day. Maybe Dina can explain why Friday turns into Satan's day. Guys, it's a live chat. And those of you who are watching, go ahead, drop in the comment section where you're watching from, who it is that is watching, and what your take is about Friday. Is Friday truly the loneliest day, loneliest night? Why does it feel like Friday is the loneliest night? Yeah, we want to know. Or is it not for you? Because some people experience Fridays differently. I, for one, I feel Friday is one of those days I look forward to, because then I get to uh, sit with you guys and chat. I get to spend time with my kids with all these stories of things that have happened in the week. I get to spend time with my husband. It's really interesting because it is more of family time. And had it not been for this live podcast, I would actually be there just watching with them movies that don't really make sense. Like watch cartoons. I don't have to monitor. We don't have to monetize Fridays, guys. We are the ones who put money value on them. Those could be days where you choose to wash clothes together and just wash. I remember our Fridays used to be all about washing, and we would sit and just wash and talk and laugh. And then people would get tired, and the talk and laugh would turn into something else, like crying. So, Fridays can be really interesting. They don't have to have money value attached to them. And if we can learn to self love, we can just survive just about anything. People have gone on and done things they wouldn't ideally do simply because they don't want to be alone. They want to fit in. I'm here to encourage someone. You don't have to. Things people have done that are great are when they have disconnected themselves from people. Anytime, even when you go to back to the Bible, Jesus would separate from his disciples and then come back in power. Next, they would be seeing miracles. So there is power in separation. When you take that time away from everyone, you're not at work, you're not with colleagues or in a place that is rowdy. When it's rowdy and music is hitting, actually after the music, when you're home, it feels quiet. It feels sad, because it took you on the up so high and then it dropped you so low all of a sudden. It is better when you just plan Fridays to be a bit slow. It is also okay, so that it's another day that we look forward to, and not one of those days you're looking to be sad and lonely with no one to care. I'm loving comments, guys. So go ahead and drop in the comment section what your take is about Friday and Friday nights. Dina, you are amazing, sharing all that you know about Friday. That is very nice. But if you're watching and or listening in, probably you're at work and can't watch, but you're listening in. You feel that ache of loneliness. Yeah. Remember, you're not invisible. You are not forgotten. And just because it's world's paint, pink, or what we call it, painted Friday night as a party night. Yeah, the world has painted it as a party night. Just because the world has painted it that way doesn't mean your story is less valuable. That is something I felt like saying. If it looks different, it's not less valuable. Just because you are alone at home and there is no one, if you're like some people in Uganda where power goes off and even power goes off, oh my God. I don't know where you guys are watching from, but our power goes and goes a lot. It is sickening. But I'll read Dina's comment. Dina has said, it was Friday that my boss overworked us day and night, and yet you have to report on Saturday because I was paid per day. So it scares me. Oh, sorry, Dina. Sorry. some bosses, but I'm assuming they would pay you extra for working extra, because any workplace where you're supposed to work at, they call them unsocial hours, you're supposed to be paid that extra because you're working at an unsocial hour. You're working on a day you would ideally not be working. You're not supposed to work at night. So if you worked at night, I'm assuming you are paid extra. Some people look forward to working on Fridays. No, that's why I quit. Oh, so you quit. Oh, sorry about that. I thought they were giving you extra, because working at unsocial hours, unsocial days like weekends, someone is supposed to be paid extra, not the same pay that you get in the week. So if you get the same, that boss was really exploiting you. They were supposed to pay you extra because you work unsocial hours and on unsocial days. They call them unsocial hours because you would ideally be sleeping, you would be at home, but you're out there working. So you're supposed to be paid extra. Any understanding boss would pay that some considerable money, because it's just being humane. Yeah, and doing something that encourages others to also show up on days they would ideally not be showing up, or on hours that they would ideally not be at work. Sorry about that, Dina. Anyone else about Friday night? Dina says that Friday night scare her, because those were the days she would be overworked. Anyone else in her shoes? Otherwise, the topic is, why does Friday night feel the loneliest? Why do Friday nights feel loneliest? Because you're not out there, you feel the pressure to go out and work and be something and take these pictures and post. It does put that weight. The other thing I wanted to say is, loneliness doesn't define you as a person. It only reminds you that you are human, and humans are made to connect. Humans are made to connect because we are not meant to be alone. So if you are alone, it is just, and you're feeling lonely, it is just that quick reminder that you're a human being and you are not supposed to be alone, because humans are meant to connect. So may we turn it around. Even when you feel alone and you're feeling lonely, you just turn it around and be like, well, I guess I'm human, because the reason I'm feeling like this is because I'm not supposed to be alone. I'm supposed to connect with someone, and right now I'm not connected to anyone. And I think some connections or some people, we can keep some people around and be miserable. I also know someone, all these people who have been in toxic relationships where it's been abusive, it's been exploiting. It is because they've tried to make sick or dead relationships work. If a relationship is dead, it is dead. You could try to revive it, resuscitate it, but it's dead. Yeah, but because you're scared of being alone, you stay in it. Even when it's progressing to nowhere, you stay in it. I think if you see you're better off alone, like there was this gentleman we were listening to, and he was saying he was not meant to be a one-man's kind of man. And he said he just can't be with one person. And there he was wanting to propose to this girl. The judge just said, you know what? You are a beautiful woman. Find someone else and leave this this man who is up to no good alone. Why? Because sometimes we hold on to people that cause us so much pain, so much hurt inside, simply because we are scared of being alone. And when you listen to this lady, the reason why she was staying with a man who she knew was not faithful, did not love her, was because no one had ever told her she was beautiful. that no one had ever told her that she was worth keeping around. And so she was scared that if I let this one go, I would be alone and no one else will love me. Can you imagine? So for her, it is not Friday that is lonely. It is every day that is lonely. Why? Because she's chosen to keep the wrong people around, toxic people around her, just so she doesn't feel lonely. But the more she puts this man or holds on to this man, the more sad she is and lonely she feels until it went off to court. Anyway, I, for one, I would say if you're going to be in a crowd where you're not celebrated, I think you're better off being alone and loving yourself, because you alone can appreciate. But if you fail to love yourself, no one else will love you. I mean, if I don't find myself attractive enough, no one else will. I need to love myself to a degree that I feel like, even if no one loves me, I know I look good. I know I'm beautiful. I know I can make it. You have that in you, guess what? Then you don't need this crowd around you to fan and tell you, you know what, you are great. You know what, you're perfect. You know what, you are amazing. No, you don't have to. But we tend to hold on to those people because we think life is better when we have them around. There are some people who have also stayed in relationships that are really deadly. Like this pastor that was saying that his wife poisoned him. He first poisoned the son and the son died. And the pastor didn't know that she was the one doing the same, but did the same to him, gave him the same poison. But God helped and he just, went through the worst and pulled out not dead. Yeah. And yet she had gone on and slept with, they had 4 kids. 3 were for another gentleman or other gentlemen, I don't know, because I wasn't there. But 1 was for the pastor. And all along the pastor thought they had 4 kids together because his wife had passed and he had one son with the late wife. And when the wife passed, he remarried and got this younger girl that was beautiful. And they had 4 kids together. At least according to him, he thought they had 4 kids together, only to find out after the episode of poisoning that only among those 4 was 1 that was his. But before all that, the lady had poisoned the kid he found in the marriage, and the boy had died. And yet he had grown up and was the pastor's hope as heir. Yeah. Now, when he died, the pastor also got sick, but God helped and he didn't pass. And that is when the truth came out that he was actually poisoned. And he remembered what he had just last eaten, that it was made by the wife. So he realized it's the wife poisoning him. And now he's seeking separation from the wife, public separation from the wife. But he had hung on to that relationship. I think there were telltale signs that she was really out of it with him, but he wasn't seeing or reading on those until now. So we can hang on to relationships that are dead, that are leading us nowhere, but because we want things to work out, we are scared to be alone. May you be given the boldness today to know that it's okay to be alone, because that's a time to reflect, that's a time to self-love, that is a time to plan and see life in different eyes. I want to read a comment that came in from Dina. Again, it was Friday that my pastor's wife told me that go out of my church. Friday is really bad for you, Dina. I don't know even why I'm laughing, but Friday seems to be really bad for you. I pray that the Lord turns down around the clock for you, and Friday becomes one of those good Fridays that you look forward to. I don't know what you had done for your pastor's wife to tell you, get out of my church. But whatever you had done and whatever you didn't do, just know that it is just a day like any other, and your pastor's wife could have said the same on a Wednesday. It wouldn't make all Wednesdays bad. It is just that Fridays tend to be lonely. They really bring out thoughts. Like you say, that's a time to think and reflect. Yeah, it is. Cedric said that. And if we choose to turn around bad situations, we can really turn them around. Like I've given you these ladies who turned their lives around after their husbands had left them. I've actually given you examples of ladies, but also there are gentlemen that have made it. I need to make it balanced. I'll tell you stories of these gentlemen. There's a gentleman who said that, who told a story and said that he had his job and things were okay for some time. He was being paid on time. He got a car on loan. They were living in a nice place, though rented, and he had this girlfriend and things were good. He thought he had, won it all because the girlfriend was the one he liked. Until one day he lost his job and he had gotten that car on loan. And when you get a car on loan at work, the guarantee for the car is your job. So if you don't have it, there's no way you keep up with the loan payments. So the the gentleman lost the job and gone was the car as well, because the moment you can't pay, they take it. When you're taking a car on credit, they retain the card, but they give you the car to drive. So you keep on depositing the premiums every month. And so he did. He was depositing. And while he was depositing the premiums every month, the girlfriend was happy, going off places with the man in the car, showing people how his man is driving and how she's now sitting at the front seat. Those small things mean a lot to us ladies, like sitting at the front of the car. Like it's a big deal. You've scored lottery. I don't know how that works though, because I, for one, that wouldn't sway me one bit. Just because you got a car and I'm the one supposed to sit at the front. I'm not a trophy that you make sit in front, and it makes me feel like, wow, we have won, But this lady, it made really a big deal to her. Now, the gentleman loses the job and the lady leaves. The moment she got wind that he's got no job and the car has been repossessed, she left. A week down the line, guys, and I'm not kidding you, the lady was with another man driving the same kind of car. So that goes to show you that lady was a TX kind of girl. If you're not driving a TX, she's out. If you don't have a job, she's out. If you cannot provide, she's out. Her love was based on whether you can provide. Have you got your things together? As in, your shit is all together, you can provide, you can take care of her, get her to sit in front. So for her, in her mind, a man with a car, a TX kind of car, not just any car, I can sit in front, that kind of person who can fuel that kind of car, take me around town when I want and take me shopping, I will stay with. But one who can't, I'm out. So the man was surprised to find her after a week in another man's car, same car like his, not exactly the same, but the same make, seated at the front. And as she was passing, he saw her. And guess what? The man was heartbroken. He felt like that was the end of the world. That's why I tell you guys, nothing should keep you down and weigh your spirit to the point that you can't, go on. Because this man was fired from work, but he had sent out applications, and God being God, they accepted him at some other job, and he was back. And when I say back, he was back and way better, because this other job was offering. He had applied while at that job. And so when they offered him the job, it was with a better pay, it came with better housing, better driving, and he was able to get back his life. And then this lady got wind that he's now back and actually she was trying to come back. The man was like, please, the time you left is the time I realized I don't even need any woman at that moment in my life. I need to self-love and self-reflect. That was, for me, kudos to that guy, because some ladies are really, really gold diggers. But I also overheard a bunch of people talking And this gentleman said, I got a girl pregnant and I was supposed to take responsibility for her. But I was not, I was working initially and I had money and I was able to woo her. But when she got pregnant, my job was gone and I couldn't work and couldn't provide. So I stayed with this lady, and the lady, I kept, everywhere I went to apply for a job, they kept on denying me, denying me. And one time the wife told her, the girlfriend told him, why don't you stop applying for these jobs, going out every day and coming back all dirty, your shoes have even worn out. Yeah. Why don't you just give up and wait until God gives you something himself? So the man listened, because every day he would go out and come back more and more discouraged and disappointed. So this time round, the woman took care of the house. She went and applied for a job and got one. And when she got that job, she was taking care of home. I'm talking about paying rent. He was saying that they were living in a house that called for 250,000 rent. She was buying food, paying all the bills for 2.5 years. So the man said, in those years when she would go working and I would stay home, I self-reflected. And then later, as he was at home, he got a phone call and he got a job. For the many places that he had gone on applying for jobs, finally he was called after 2.5 years. But he said, I had time to reflect. Every time I would see this woman, I would see her with different eyes, because not every woman is willing to get their money and feed you, take care of you and the baby she had, and then parent, pay bills and all that, plus take care of food. So that is one reason he's like, even when I see other ladies, when I have money, I'm thinking twice. Should I really spend my money on this one? Should I really go out with this? He says, well, sometimes I mess up, but I always go back to her. Why? Because she was that one person that became my rock when I didn't have. And while she was off to work, I was thinking, really, is this all life has got to offer? Really, is this what my life has been reduced to? And before he knew it, 2.5 years had gone. But he was never hungry and never thrown out. The woman was working and seeing to that. I know there are not many women who can do that, but she did. And he was grateful. And during that time, he reflected on life and what women were. And now their relationship is really doing well because he went back to work. Now, anytime he has money, he knows where to spend it because he knows that place brings back returns or deserves it. So you see, from a bad situation comes a good thing. I want to read some comments that have just come in from Dina. I hated all the pastors and their wives and their churches, which are not for Christ but theirs. From that Friday. Dina, sorry. And she says she thought that the hubby had all his eyes on me when I personally was not aware. I also had a boyfriend called Friday, so I hate Friday. This guy was a liar and a gold digger. Okay, now I get you. I see now you have something personal with Friday. But I hope by the end of the podcast, your take on Friday will have changed. Because Friday is just a day, Dina. It's just a day, and we choose to make it lonely or we choose to make it worth going through or a day to celebrate. Because it's just a day. It's just that the world has painted it different, and all these mishappenings that have happened to you have made it be painted a different color and a different day. But it's still a nice day, Dina. If we can reflect and see it for its sacredness, then we can get to enjoy it. Otherwise, Dina, you are amazing. Guys, it's a live podcast. You can also feel free to share your Friday nights. Why is it Friday feels the loneliest of all days? Is it because we go out and work all week and then are left to do nothing on weekends? And so we want to spend time out of the house because, or to sleep late or stay up late because you have nothing to do Friday, Saturday. Is it because of that? Or is it because something deeper is going on? Or is it because of all these posts that people put up on social media platforms, TikTok, on WhatsApp, on Facebook, when people are enjoying eating roasts, drinking, dancing? Is it because of that Friday night feels really sad and lonely? Or is it something else? Feel free to drop in the comments. Blessing Nava, I don't know whether you're still on. I'm also waiting to hear from you. Jasper, I don't know where Shaboya went off to. Shaboya used to watch, even Lydian and Rogers. Guys, I'm missing you. I hope you're also having a better Friday and you're not feeling lonely somewhere. Remember, this podcast is always there every Friday. Feel free to drop in. We have different topics that we handle, and it's always fun. You can always be guaranteed to at least smile or laugh or, share an experience. Like I said, and guess what? Loneliness doesn't define you, it only reminds you that you are human. And humans are made to connect. That is what I had to say. And guess what? Again, right now, you and I are connecting. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough to turn this Friday night into something beautiful because we are connecting. I mean, Dina, you're telling me about all these things, and I'm trying to clear your brain that Friday is not a day that is bad, that is black. We are connecting. Probably this would be a place you would hang every Friday, and the loneliness would leave, and you would reflect. Because on here we talk about different things. Sometimes it's money. Sometimes, let me know in the comments, guys, what you would want us to talk about next Friday. What topic you would want us to discuss next Friday. I would leave you to think of a topic that you'd want to hear on next Friday podcast. Yeah. Let me know the topic, gather friends, come with your own ideas, but also let me know the topic so I can prepare and we can brainstorm on that one and have a nice Friday night. Also, Dina, you can let me know which topic you would want us to handle for Friday night. And anyone else that is listening in, any topics that you would want us to talk about Friday night, we will talk about them and we'll laugh together. Whether you want a financial one, relationship one, in the comment section, go ahead and drop the topic that you'd want us to talk about. And I assure you, we'll give it thought and talk about it if it's the best, if it's the one that has won the hearts of many. Otherwise, go ahead and write down in the comment section what you'd want us to talk about. Otherwise, like I said, thank you guys for spending your Friday night with me. I cannot forget to thank you. You guys are incredible. People like Dina, you are amazing. Dina and Cedric, today you are our top fans. Dina and Cedric, you've kept this live really going, sharing your experiences. Blessing Nava, you came in and greeted and then disappeared. Single Dad, you are amazing. You are always one of the first ones. And thank you so much. And TJ, you dropped by as well and then disappeared. I'm trying to remember those people who came on and got off. Jasper, you said hello. Did I talk about Nava? Blessing? You are amazing as well. Thank you for watching. I know you made time out of your busy schedule. And came on here. I think Single Dad was the very first one. Yeah, Single Dad, you are. I'll have to find a way to put you up there as the top fan. Yeah, the top fans, because there's that, you see that on the screen, it says top fans. And among the top fans is you, Single Dad, Dina, and Cedric. TJ and Jasper, you guys are always on. I mean, if I can backtrack, you've been there from the very beginning. Thank you so much. Thank you for spending your evening with me. Until next time, I'm giving you a few minutes to see if anyone can drop in any topic suggestion for next Friday. God willing, if we are still here and the rapture has not happened, I want to know which topics we would talk about. Shaboya finally shows up. Yeah, Shaboy, I need to know which topics you would want us to handle for next Friday. I'm giving it about, let me see, 5 minutes. Guys, drop in the comment section what you'd want us to talk about Friday. Is it about money? Is it about religion or finances? Let me know. Remember, Friday night is about digesting the heart. And so we talk about any matters of the heart. And matters of the heart could be anything really. They could be relationship, they could be money, they could be religion, they could be faith, they could be anything, as long as it's not politics, because I'm not qualified in that area of politics. I've got no experience, so I wouldn't go into politics. But any other affair, I'm there. And Dina says, what can you do if you have teenagers and how you can handle them? Okay. Relating to teenagers today. Okay. Now, two people have talked about teenagers. So the topic, I think I'm giving it a few minutes. Remember I gave the slot of 5 minutes. So let me know, those of you else who are watching. And guys, if you've liked the podcast, go ahead and like. How can I have all of you on watching, but only have 9 likes? I've got to have more. So go ahead and like. Those of you who have not yet liked, I can see the likes going up. Yes. If you have forgotten to like, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe so that you can be able to get notifications of videos as and when they drop in. And also you can access in the archives all the lives that we have done so far and all there is about this channel. Because trust me, we don't only do lives, we also do videos where we talk about the Bible. Yeah, so if you're one who is interested in the Bible, yeah, tune in and you will be blessed. I guarantee you. Otherwise, it looks like 2 people have voted for teenagers and how to handle them. I need to write that topic that Dina suggested, because once we go off, I won't be able to see it. Dina and Shaboya talked about teenage something. So I'm going to write it somewhere. Guys, let me know, those of you who are watching, what else you think we should talk about. And okay, so far it's relating to teenagers. What can you do if you have teenagers? I'm just trying to write it down. What can you do if you have teenagers? And how can you handle them? Trust me, next week, if there's no other people that have voted for something else, trust me, next week we are talking about teenagers. Because like I said, this channel is about handling issues of the heart, and teenagers are also so dear to the hearts of any parent. If you've got them, if you're about to have them, or if you have them for siblings, my goodness, teenagers. Yeah. We will handle that one. And the reason I ask you ahead of time is because then it gives me time to research and prepare and also inquire from experts, so that when I come in on here, I've got enough to offer, not just as me, but also from all those other people that have been or have gone through the same before. Yeah, I hope there will be power. And I pray, guys, that we all stay alive and healthy and strong, that we can all be here. And guys, I've seen the likes go up. Thank you so much. Those of you who have watched and are subscribed, and those of you who are not subscribed, go ahead. You lose nothing when you subscribe. Go ahead, hit that subscription button, and let us do life together. Otherwise, until next time, I'm Winfred, and remember, even your quietest moments, you are never truly alone. Even when it feels like you're alone, you're never truly alone. You've got yourself to self-love, yourself to think about and to care about. I see 23 of us on here, and I'm hoping I would have 23 likes, because those 23 have kept constant the whole time. I just wonder why I don't see them. Are you just stuck on there and you can't like? Because you cannot be on there and I'm about to, shut off or go off, and you're still on there, but you're not liking. So go ahead. It's a clear sign you're still like this and you have nowhere to go. So like, subscribe, and we'll do life together. Otherwise, Dina says thanks for the live. Dina, thank you so much. You have been amazing sharing your experiences and stories. Cedric, thank you so much. Shaboya, thank you for the late call. Single dad, you are the biggest, the first one, and you're the top watching in the event. TJ, you are a good fan, though you disappear midway. Who else have I not talked about? Blessings, Nava. You are watching from UK. Thank you so much. Blessing. And Michael, there's someone called Michael from Kenya. Michael, thank you so much. I hope you have liked as well. If you've enjoyed, guys, don't forget to like. I expect to see more likes on there simply because we've been more than 12 just before I clocked off. And it's 22 of you on here. I hate to say bye-bye, but I have no choice because you're not saying anything and you're not liking. I've just got to go off and go off to bed. I hope you have a pleasant night. Thank you, guys, and good night.